Thank you. Good day for all. First, I want to share my presentation that you can see now. Thank you. Good day to all. First of all, I would like to thank to the United Nations World Tourism Organization through the International Network of Sustainable Tourism Observatory, the YSTO, for welcoming us to this great team. And from the Yucatan Tourism Observatory, we send our greetings to all our colleagues from the different destinations in the world participating today in the seminar, especially my colleagues from Canada and Mallorca that will be here today. In particular, I thank to Dr. Dirk Glaser Cordula from the Department of Sustainable Development of Tourism for inviting us to participate for the first time in this seminar as new members of YSTO. My name is Raúl Paz. I'm the Technical Secretary of this Secretariat of Tourism of the state of Yucatan in Mexico. And I thank to the team of our observatory headed by the Dr. Ileana Lara from the University of Yucatan and my colleague Ameria Flores that is present here for their professional work to carry out this presentation. I would like to begin to talking about a little about our destination. Let me put, no. Yeah, nice. So, yes, first of all, the state of Yucatan is located in the Yucatan Peninsula of the same name, the peninsula of the same name, and famous because in this region flourished the Mayan culture, whose heritage can still be seen in our language and in culture, traditions, as well as the mestizo population that we are today. Yucatan is one of the 3 states that integrate the Yucatan Peninsula. It's bordered to the north for the Gulf of Mexico. We have a coast of 378 kilometers of coastline from the Gulf of Mexico. And we are in the gateway of entrance of the Caribbean Sea, Mexican Caribbean Sea. And our neighborhood states are the Campeche and Quintana Roo states that compose the Yucatan Peninsula. Yucatan is a flat territory with no surface rivers. The state is located on a limestone rock with almost 40,000 square kilometers of surface. Being our capital city, the city of Mérida, we have 2 important biosphere reserves, the reserve of Celestún and the reserve of Rio Lagartos, as well the Arrecife Alacranes or Alacrans Reef National Park and other 9 reserves, protected reserve states sites. You might have heard about Chicxulub, the place where 65 million years ago a meteorite hit and impact, according to most of theories, extinguished the dinosaurs. This happened in Yucatan. We are a semi-dry, warm, and subhumidity climate with an average temperature between 25 and 35 degrees. Usually could be colder in winter, but it's not really cold. We rarely go below 15 degrees. About our economy, this is mainly based on the tertiary sector from services with different other sectors like manufacturing. That is the next most prominent. As I said before, we have a population of 2.3 million people, mostly young people. More than 1 million of these people live or are concentrated in the city of Mérida, in our capital. The state has 106 municipalities, most with a strong Spanish and Mayan heritage. Even 22% of our population speak the Mayan language, yet it's a live language. We have Cuban, Lebanese, Korean, Chinese migration, among others, all are welcome to the state. And a relevant factor is that we are the safest state in the country in this moment. Tourism, what is very important in our state is 11.1% of our gross domestic product after 2 years of pandemic, which represent a major challenge for Yucatan as well in the world. In the year 2022, we recovered pre-pandemic growth levels and received 2.1 million overnight visitors, in addition to 3 million hikers to our archaeological and cultural sites and ecological sites. We have 2 UNESCO World Heritage designated sites that are Chichen Itza and Uxmal, the amazing Mayan sites, in addition to other 17 archaeological sites open to the public, 19 in total. The state have almost of 16,000 hotel rooms, no counting platforms like Airbnb or similars, which more than 10,000 of these rooms are located in the city of Mérida, in the capital city. Our airport have a connection to 11 domestic routes, direct routes, and 9 international routes. And recently, our airport had a record movement for more than 3 million passengers. We have international cruise terminal in the port of Progreso and 118 cenotes for tourism. The cenotes are the natural sinkholes with subway waters deposits which have a delicate ecological balance and works with the communities. I could talk much more about my state, but I prefer to change my subject and talk a little about our observatory that was established in 2018 to generate and manage information around tourist development. Our observatory integrates a network to support the Ministry of Tourism of the state of Yucatan with the participation of the public, private, academic, and social sector from our state, as well as the Dr. Dick said, the last week we was accepted as new member of YSTO. We are very proud for that. We are the second observatory in Mexico to be in this network, and it's a big commitment for us. About our mission, where we have a very clear mission and vision about our observatory, also born from the public sector, has the support of chambers, tourism, business, association, and universities from the state, that is important to say, to support these good practices in sustainable tourism that we are looking for, and contribute to the development of the tourism model that benefits the Mayan communities here in Yucatan. About the goal, it's not easy to tell. We have many goals to accomplish in the medium and long term, but in these first 4 years of life, we have a vision of 2 government administration from different political parties, by the way, that have seen in our observatory a tool to improve governance and increase the competitiveness of our destination. Since 2018, our observatory has generated 28 specific products derived from 11 projects financed by public resources. You can see some of the products in these slides. And let us now talk about the seasonality that is the topic of today in Yucatan. We have a time series analysis between the years 2006 and 2022. Take it from DataTour, that is a program that we have to measure here. How do we measure seasonality? First of all, since 2003, this program, the hotel monitoring program DataTour, has been implemented in Yucatan, which generates records of overnight visitors, residents or non-residents, hotel occupancy rates, average of the states, among other destinations indicators. The DataTour is a national program. Now works in more than 125 tourist centers in Mexico, and allows through an online survey to generate records of main variables of the lodging offer from hotels. The system generates important tourism indicators and now operates, in the case of Yucatan, in 5 touristical centers: the city of Mérida, Valladolid, Izamal, as well as Chichen Itza and Uxmal touristical centers, and participate now 102 hotels with more than 5,952 rooms in the categories from 1 to 5 star that represent 54.7% of the total number of rooms in these categories in our state. Regarding our methodology, well, the occupancy, the statistics of occupancy in tourist lodging services of the DataTour is generated by a survey designated based on the stratified sampling method, whose design grants of reliability margin of 90 and 95% with an error of 5 to 10%. You can see the detailed methodology in my presentation. I leave the link with the detail of the methodology. The universe are the number of rooms in our states, of course. Some of our results go directly to the results. The indicator is overnight visitors. This is the total overnight visitors in the time series between 2006 and 2022, 16 years. Each year shows in this chart in a different color, but I don't expect to go at the time in each year, with the exception maybe 2020, which is the line that falls in the floor due to the pandemic, and the others already show a very clear pattern. On the right side, you can see a table that show the total overnight visitor received every year in the state, which clearly is growing in the recent year, only interrupted in 2009, 2020, and 2021, in 3 cases by pandemics or pandemic times. The other slide shows domestic overnight visitors in this state, the same time series, 2006, 2022. This graph again follows a clear trend of seasonality in certain months, and the next show the overnight visitors, the foreign overnight visitors or non-residents, how we say in data tour, you can see too the seasonality and the same trend present some significant differences that we cannot comment in this moment for the time. But I want to go directly for the last slide, that is an average from overnight visitors from this time series between 2006 and 2022. I would like to concentrate in this graph, which shows a monthly average obtained for each month in the 16 years of the time series analyzed. This graph allows us to clearly see the seasonality that exists in which months it is concentrated. You can see in this graph is concentrated in March and April are the highest, which coincides with the spring vacations and the Easter. That actually the Easter is the period of the highest movement of domestic tourism in Mexico, plus the summer, that is the highest, July and August, most July than August, and November and December. In the case of November, is supported or sustained in the case of Yucatan for the maize market, and December for the Christmas season. And we can note the lowest months that are May, June, and September. It's important to note that seasonality is less pronounced in the case of non-residents or foreign visitors, where the volume is less. And on average, during this period, we received 77.5% of domestic tourism and 22.5% for foreign tourism. The movement in Mexico in the case of domestic tourism is huge. In conclusion, according from the information from our program, from Data Tour program, between 2006 and 2022, there is an evidence of seasonality during the arrival of overnight visitors in Yucatan, especially in the months of March and April for the beginning of spring and the Catholic Holy Week, July and August, summer vacation, and finally in November and December for meeting tourism, Christmas. On the other hand, the months with the lowest number of visitors in Yucatan are May, June, and September. In general, seasonality is perceived as negative for the income of tourism companies, although it allows regulating the affluence to our cultural and ecological sites, preventing massive tourism all year round. According to the sustainable tourism model that Yucatan is looking for, these seasonal periods should be taken advantage of, promoting the arrival of niche markets with higher average spending, less crowded than in other seasons. I can talk a lot about seasonality, but I don't have enough time. I have the link of some other complementary indicators that complete this analysis and are available in our observatory too, in our website that you can visit. In this moment, all your information is in Spanish. We translate only with Google. Thank you, Google, for translate. But we work in a project to translate all the information, all the products in English in the next month. Have a commitment, no, from the observatory. Finally, I want to give you our contacts in the Yucatan Tourism, Sustainable Tourism Observatory, now sustainable, from our site, from our team, our official website, and from email. I received yesterday some emails from different observatories on the world. I will answer today because here is really early yet. But thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for the time to be in this seminar, and apologize for my pronunciation. Maybe it's not the best in English. Thank you.